Okay, it's very similar to the spirit of Jezebel. The leaven of Herod that Jesus warned the disciples about was similar. Here's what Herod did. He killed anything, including his own kids, for fear that someday they would rise up against him and become king. He so lusted after the office. He so had to have that power. He so had to have that control that he killed his own sons. Well, I could go some places with that, but I'm not going to right now, not in this venue. We've got to be very careful as leaders that we are leading as the king would lead and not how an earthly king would lead. You know what I found? The more authority you really have, the less you have to flaunt it. If you have to constantly tell people how much authority you have, you don't have any. See, let's take this a little bit farther. You ready? Both Jezebel's spirit and leaven of Herod, both are of the lust, or a lust for power and control. You know why we've got to guard ourselves against control? You know why? Because it's an addictive behavior. People that they got to be in charge. And if they're not, your life's miserable. And if they are, your life's miserable. I mean, I'm not. This is not just about pastors and leaders, preachers. You know, I think it was James said, you know, why there's wars among you and fightings among you. It's a lust problem. You know, show me a marriage where you can't get along, and I'll show you a lust problem. We think of lust all the time in a sexual mindset. But you can lust after control, lust after power, lust after things, just, you know, got to be in charge. It's my way or the highway. Nobody can have an opinion. If you have an opinion, you got a bad spirit. When I was growing up, there was one answer for everything. You asked the question, you got one answer. You know what it was? Obey them that have the rule over you. End of discussion. And while I agree with that and understand that and adhere to that, and there are just sometimes, you know what? The answer is just because I said so. Sometimes, you know what God said to me one time? He said, if I can't tell you no without you asking me why, you're not willfully submitted to me. You know, they're just some, Pastor, sometimes I can't give an answer. Why I don't know. I just feel this is what God's wanting us to do. I can't give you anything more than that. Just got this Holy Ghost check in my, well, Pastor, I want to do, something not right here. Just got this right here. This thing. You know, I remember my pastor years ago. I went in, my wife and I, we were just fresh in the ministry. And I was about ready to make one of the dumbest mistakes I'd ever made in my life. I was convinced it was God. I knew it was God. I just knew it was God. I prayed about it for about an hour. Knew it was God. Took one day to pray about it. We go to his home and sit down in his office and told him what we were wanting to do. He looks up at me and he said, Brother Ellis, just got this check right here. I can't tell you why. Just. And then he made a statement that when he made it, I thought, you're crazy. I didn't tell him that. I just thought it. He said, Brother Ellis, and he cited me numbers of examples, He says, all I can tell you is that in 30 years, it's never been wrong. I sat there and I smiled, but on the inside I said, right. I believe that about like I'm 6'6". But I wasn't disrespectful. I submitted, didn't agree, didn't like it. Was kind of ticked off about it actually. But I took care of it in the prayer closet. Nobody ever knew. I never said a word to anybody. Pastor, he wouldn't let me do, and I was wanting, God called me to do, and he's telling me no. He's just trying to control my life. He don't care. I never said that, never thought that, never one time went to one person about that. My wife and I was, you know what? I can't get out of spiritual authority. I can't rebel. I can't step out of my umbrella. He says no, I'm not doing anything. Well, are you ready? Are you ready to call me crazy? Can I tell you in 30 plus years of ministry, pastoral ministry, I can't give you one example where it was ever wrong. I don't know why. I can't explain it. It just comes with the calling. When God calls you and he puts responsibility in your life of the lives and the souls of people. I can tell you there's been times I've prayed it was wrong. There's been times I've wanted it to be wrong. There's been times I've thought, I know it's not right this time. Can't be. It's not possible. 2 years later, 5 years later, it's just what I felt when I had that first check. That's what happened. That's what it was. I'm going to tell you, young people, sometimes the man of God that's carrying the burden of responsibility for your soul is not going to have your answer. He's not going to be able to tell you why. The only thing he's going to be able to say is, I just don't feel it. I don't feel good about it. It's something not right. That's all you need to know. Trust me when I tell you that. That's all you need to know. And you'll find out. Years down the road, it'll prove. You'll find out. There's something that comes with the calling. Feel that check. I was sitting in a country a few years ago. I'm 50 years old at that time. I've got a direction I think God's telling me to go in. I'm doing everything I know to do, and checks and balances, trying to make sure it's right, feel that it's right. I've sought elders, I've sought other people. I did all the things that I felt was right. Nobody's saying no. Some people seem to indicate yes. I'm feeling right about it. I'm a man of God. So I am literally now coming to the place I'm ready to make the decision. And it's time to let some people in high places know what I'm going to be doing. And so I write out this letter. And I thought, you know what? I think before I send it, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to proof it, because I realize it's very important what I say and how it's said. So I'm going to take a break. Hadn't checked my email that morning, and so I'm going to pull up my email, and I'm going to get something to eat and then come back to it. Sometimes it's good, to walk away and then come back to it.